What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Abe. This is EVE Online. We're doing some level 1 security missions just to build up some money and to get a little bit into the mechanics of combat as we do so. And we move towards faction warfare. So this mission, Avenge a Fallen Comrade, if we look it up on EVE Survival, shows that there are 4 different groups of enemies that we'll be facing with varying numbers of frigates in there. So it's Angel Cartel, like we can see here based on the emblem, and if we click on it, it'll tell us both the website and the bio tell us to use explosive damage, which is why I've loaded up my fusion ammo. And it's important to note, I think I've mentioned this in passing previously, but that the different ammo types, we'll just keep loading the info here, the different ammo types have an impact on the range. So titanium sabot doesn't do anything to your range. Phased plasma S reduces your range by 50%. So does fusion, which is what we're using here, by 50%, and also EMPS. So what that tells us is that now instead of 900 or 1,000 being the optimal range is now 480 meters. So we really need to get in there and get in there tight. So as we also change the ammo, it looks like our tracking changes because I've been punching in different numbers for each of these missions. So anyway, so we're using explosive damage. We've got our 125 millimeter in here. We're going to undock and go and take care of this. But I just wanted to point out that you need to be aware that your ammo affects your range and how and where you'll be effective. So as it is right now, I'm orbiting at 1,500 meters, which is about as close as you're going to be able to get. So, there's not much. Optimal may be 500, but a third of, usually I go to optimal plus a third of the fall off range, and a third of the fall off range is 15 to 1,800 by itself. So because it's so close, it ends up being my orbit range is set to 1,500, but I end up orbiting at like 2,000 to 2,500 just because they're moving and I'm trying to move with them, and I can't, my ship is not able to sort of close that distance. So we'll just get in here, and the habitat is our target. We're supposed to destroy that, but let's see here. So we're already pretty damn close to these. So we've taken those out, and we can fly over here now. So I'm right here in the middle. Looks like a bunch of them are around here, and looks like 8 if the website is to be correct. And then this ambusher by itself over here is in another group on its own. As it says, when things are in different groups like this, or when enemies are in different groups like this, you'll find that sometimes there's an order in which you're supposed to engage. By engaging one, it may aggro or make everything attack you. Other times, if you engage group 1, group 2 will engage as well, but groups 3 and 4 will leave you alone. And so knowing what those effects are and what the triggers are to trigger aggression from one of the other targets is it's important to know. So it's always good to look it up on the web. Make sure that you're going into things with your head up and you're intelligently addressing the concerns that let's see here. We'll take that out, and we'll take that out. Now, just because these things are, let me go in, because they're all right here and I'm going to have to fly all the way back across, I'm actually going to loot and salvage these while I'm over here, and then I'll go over and take out some of these others, just because it's 50 kilometers out of the way. There's no reason to. Oh, okay, well, there's a cargo container there. We can loot what's in that. And loot what's in there as well. Looks like things are dropping some loot, so that's good. Do a little bit of salvaging. A lot of metal scraps, which aren't worth very much, but that's life. But we picked up some depleted uranium, and this is another way to make or to gain ammo. Sometimes they drop it, which is nice, and they're not going to drop huge quantities of it, so you're not going to be able to sort of support all of your missions with that. But it'll, obviously this is 100 rounds of depleted uranium S that I don't need to buy because I already have it. So because I looted it, so it's good to know. And just as a point of comparison, depleted uranium does not affect your range at all, but it also does sort of a strange smattering of damage across thermal, explosive, and kinetic, and none of those numbers are particularly high. So, and you can see also that each of these ammo types has a tracking speed multiplier. So this is 1.2x compared to 1x on this, and that goes to what I was talking about before. So, food for thought. Things to keep in mind as you are preparing for your combat. So where this really takes a deep effect is when you're looking at, so I'm using autocannons right now, which are a very short range weapon. If I was doing long range sniping and I was using artillery, my optimal range and where I would sort of try to exist may be at 50 to 60 kilometers, whereas with ammo that gives a range boost, that may put me at 100 to 120 kilometers. So being outside or inside of your range varies wildly depending on kind of where you're at and what ammo you're using. So that's good to know. All right, we will salvage these as well because we're here and we might as well. See, so there we go. We got a little bit of EMPS. So that's ammo we'll actually probably use. And we'll salvage that. And I think I may head to this ambusher over here once we wrap up. Yeah. And I'll come down to these 8 separately. Let's see. They're doing kinetic and explosive damage. I guess I can turn on my shield hardener. Once I go up against these 8, it may get a little hairy, but I should be okay. As soon as I loot one of these things, I need to get rid of the civilian gear. All right, we're coming up on the 3rd group. And waiting until we get within range, which is under 5,000 meters or so. 7,000, 6,000, there we go. And it just drastically increases the amount of damage that we'll do and how often we'll hit. So you can see they're missing us, but we are doing quite well hitting them. All right. And just because we're here, loot those. Looks like I got a shield recharger. And I'll salvage that as well. In these lower level missions, it's looking more and more like the greatest reward is coming from the loot and the salvage. So far I've picked up 175k. I've only killed, 5 or 6 ships, and so I'm going to go down and attack these. Looks like 7 or 8 ships here. And that'll be another big boost. So that's good. So it's interesting that we've seen all 3 of the 4 different pirate types, not just one. A lot of times when you're in an area, you'll face sort of the same type of enemy over and over and over again, with some variation. Like you may get mercenaries or drones, but generally you'll see kind of the same pirate, just because they exist in a given area of space. But so far I've seen 3 different pirate types, and that's interesting. Come on, Salvager, let's do this. Yeah, that's better. All right. So we'll come down here. think I inhaled something that is not meant to be inhaled. All right, so they don't see me yet. I need to wait until they're within 25 kilometers in order to target them. Oh, now they're going to start firing on me here. Now, if I was really concerned, I might try to spiral my way in so that I can still maintain some sort of angular velocity with them, but I'm not overly concerned. So I'm just one-shotting these guys. Which is nice. And I have taken very little damage. And you can see that I do significantly more when I'm closer. So that's pretty much it. I need to destroy the habitat, and here it is. So that's all the way out there. So I'm going to go back out there, but for now I'm going to loot and salvage, and yeah, we'll just see kind of how it goes and what we end up with, and I'll show you, or at least mention it in the next video most likely. So thanks for watching, and this was Avenge a Fallen Comrade in Minmatar combat style, where we're managing range, we're using different ammunition types, we're catering and being aware of, you know, the impacts of those ammunition types and what the various guns do. So a lot more going on here than just picking some drones and very quickly and easily going and letting them do the killing. So here I need to make sure that I am safe, that I'm doing damage, that I'm doing the best damage, that I'm hitting and all of that. So yeah, lots to think about, but it makes it more fun, I think. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.